This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan, and in for Amy this morning, Chicago Tribune's John Cass. And John had a presser yesterday that the president had to discuss criminal justice reform. He took time out to bring Sarah Huckabee Sanders up to announce that she is departing her post
at the White House, and been with me now 3.5 years before I won, before the election, is a person, a friend, a woman, a great, magnificent person, actually, named Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I just saw her in the room, and I really wanted to call her up. She is a special person, a very, very fine woman. She has been so great. She has such heart. She's strong, but with great heart. And I want to thank you for an outstanding job. Sir. And thank you. Come.
And here's what Sarah Sanders said when she was given her turn to address.
I'll try not to get emotional because I know that crying can make us look weak sometimes, right? This has been the honor of a lifetime, the opportunity of a lifetime. I couldn't be prouder to have had the opportunity to serve my country and particularly to work for this president. He has accomplished so much in these 2.5 years, and it's truly been something I will treasure forever. It's one of the greatest jobs I could ever have. I've loved every minute, even the hard minutes. I have loved it. I love the president. I love the team that I've had the opportunity to work for. The president is surrounded by some of the most incredible and most talented people you could ever imagine. And it's truly the most special experience.
It was a big day for his senior staff yesterday. One, the announcement that Sarah Sanders would be departing. Two, the report from the Office of Special Counsel, which, by the way, has nothing to do with Bob Mueller. It sounds like it. Independent federal agency investigates wrongdoing by government employees. The report suggesting that Kellyanne Conway should be fired for violations of the Hatch Act for her comments and commentary online and on cable news talkies. President Trump was on Fox and Friends this morning, first addressing Conway and her future.
Well, I got briefed on it yesterday, and it looks to me like they're trying to take away her right of free speech, and that's just not fair. They ask a question. I think one of them was involved with your show, but you ask them a question, or you ask a person a question, and every time you're supposed to say, I can't answer. I mean, she's got to have a right of responding to questions. It really sounds to me like a free speech thing. No, I'm not going to fire her. I think she's a terrific person. She's a tremendous spokesperson. She's been loyal. She's just a great person. I would certainly not think, based on what I saw yesterday, how could you do that? They have tried to take away her speech, and I think you're entitled to free speech in this country.
And as to a potential replacement for Sarah Sanders, the president said.
No, I have a lot of people that want it, and there are a lot of great people, and it's sometimes you have so many that it makes it more difficult. But we have some great. But Sarah was fantastic, and she is fantastic, and she's going to have a tremendous future. She's been with me 3.5 years, close to 4 years, and she has been a warrior in a sense.
The suggestion, perhaps, that he bring the mooch back. God help us.
Well, I like Anthony, and he's been very nice, I know, but I think Anthony should stay where he is right now.
All right, fine.
Anthony's doing a good job, and let's keep it that way for a little while.
I think that's judicious on the part of the president. For more on these topics and others, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Salena Zito, Washington Examiner reporter, New York Post columnist, CNN contributor. Maybe she runs into the mooch from time to time. Her book, The Great Revolt, Inside the Populist Coalition, Reshaping American Politics. Salena, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
And so what about the shakeup there with two key communication officials, basically, in the administration? One, Kellyanne Conway under fire, and two, Sarah Sanders departing amicably, but who will backfill her role?
Well, I mean, I think Sarah's leaving has been a long time in coming. They've been working on this for a while. That is, even under the best circumstances, that is an incredibly grueling job. A lot of people don't make it past the 1 year mark, let alone 2.5 years. I think that that the Trump administration is going to look long and hard for to replace her, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Sometimes these White Houses tend to sort of try people out, right, to see who fits the role best. But she's changed the role of the press secretary, and I think that is because the access that the president gives to the press. He is constantly talking to them far more than George W. Bush or Barack Obama did in their administrations, and he also communicates whatever he thinks and or feels via Twitter. So, a lack of understanding how the president feels about anything on any given day doesn't mean he doesn't change his mind every other day. I think is apparent. Kellyanne Conway has always had a sort of bullseye on her back, among not just the Democrats, but also sort of the Republicans and the bureaucrats and the establishments in Washington, because she is very articulate and a bold defender of the president. Whether you like her or not, she is out there. I'm not surprised that this allegation happened, and I would also not be surprised if she doesn't leave ever until he leaves the presidency.
Because? Why wouldn't you be surprised?
Because I think that she has a willingness and a determination to not leave his side unless he, of course, tells her it's time to go.
I wanted to, and no particular insights, guesses, educated guesses you want to make in terms of who some of the names on the short list to replace Sanders are?
I honestly I'm not that plugged into Washington.
Yeah, I know.
I'm more plugged into outside of Washington. In fact, I'm sitting on the side of the road in South Carolina right now talking to you guys.
All right.
No, I really don't have an idea. There's a bunch of names being floated, but, honestly, we'll see when we see.
Perfect segue to a recent piece that you wrote about a little situation you had over, I think it was, if I'm remembering correctly, Memorial Day weekend. And it's consistent. We talked to Chris Arnade in the last week or so about his book that focuses on quote-unquote back row Americans called Dignity, and all the photojournalistic work he's done over the last several years to document people that do live outside the Beltway and outside the major urban power centers and so forth. And you tell a story that's sort of similar, certainly would fit with some of the stories that Chris Arnade has told, how you found America at a backroads gas station.
Well, yeah, so the way I approach journalism is a little bit different than some of my peers. I don't fly, and I don't take interstates. I only take the back roads. That's how I have a general understanding of how an election, not just presidential election, but midterm elections as well. And I've done that throughout my two-decade career in journalism. And a couple weeks ago, I was on my way to Washington, D.C. from Pittsburgh, where I live, to do Face the Nation when my tires shredded. And the moment that it happened, there must have had some sort of guardian angel. It led me right into a general store / gas station / post office / best sort of fried chicken I've ever had in Dickerson, Maryland. And what was really interesting to me, you saw a parade of people that if they were being described on cable news or on social media would fall into stereotypes. There was a white couple that were covered with tattoos. There was a group of young Hispanic men. There was the African American couple. They all, at different times came up to make sure that I was okay, if I needed any money, did I need to use your phone, did I need a tow, did I need to drive somewhere. The generosity and spirit that we think that is gone from this country is quite alive and well. And it's also a reminder that these general stores, it was a no-name gas station, right? There wasn't a brand attached. It wasn't Gulf, or it wasn't Sheetz or Wawa. It was, but these general stores in these smaller communities tend to be the center of the communities, and they help hold the social fabric together of communities that have maybe lost things as their population has dwindled.
Like McDonald's in certain inner city neighborhoods, right? Where
yeah, exactly.
And in both, Salena, both areas, do the masters of culture understand anything about the people?
Well, no, and here's the problem. The people that the elites, let's just call them elites, the ones that sort of are in charge not just of our politics and our government, but also in charge of our entertainment and news organizations. They don't have similar shared experiences. There aren't cultural touchstones with people that live outside of the cities. They don't know anybody that sits in a pew every Sunday. They don't know anybody that owns a gun. They don't know what the parts of a gun are. They don't know anybody that's pro-life. So that when they're reporting or talking or making movies about these people or making decisions in government, they're going from their experiences and not the ones of the people outside the larger cities. And that's sort of part of the big problem that we have in this country.
Yeah, that's a great point. Salena, Zito, I think it's time for you to reprise Charles Kuralt's On the Road segments as you're traveling around the fruited plain. Salena, Zito, Washington Examiner reporter, New York Post columnist, CNN contributor. Give her the right of way if you see her on the roads in your community. The book, The Great Revolt, Inside the Populist Coalition, Reshaping American Politics. Salena, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. She joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.